pedal. Welcome to my impromptu podcast. Live. I'm sitting in the park and I thought I'd do a live. And my friends, I'm sure you are out enjoying this beautiful day. If you're in New York, I hope you are enjoying this absolutely beautiful day. And you will get this later. But what is going on? Well, our faves, our faves are fine under their tree. As of course, I love being under their tree, so I feel like I'm close to our faves. Hello, Karen M, our awesome moderator. Welcome, welcome to my very. Oh, I love those birds flying across there. Love our impromptu in the park podcasts, and so hello, Rafaela. How are you doing? Hope you are well. How are you feeling? How is your shoulder? How is your brother? Hope he is doing much, much better. Um, Hello, Minxie Martin. How are you? Welcome. Hi, Sonia. How are you? Hope you guys are hearing me well. Give me a thumbs up if you're hearing me. Hopefully you are. But anyways, our faves are under a tree minding their business while the world seems to want to mind their business. And so, but our faves are, doing whatever it is they're doing, and, which is fine. And so, but we know like a lot of drama has been going on in the last couple of days. And it's so funny is one of those things that I'm like, I don't even, it's just so ridiculous that I don't even want to like give it any attention. But I know much has been written about it, much has been said about it. But we're very, very happy that Prince Harry is going to be honored with the Pat Tillman Award. And of course, those on Shutter Island are doing what those on Shutter Island always do. I think some of the most ridiculous people on the planet seem to all be royalists, and it's like I don't know how these people function on a daily basis, but it's just like, how do you function? So, but hello, Yalibi and Sonia and Emma Day. How are you? I think I may have missed some. Let's see, who else? Did I miss anyone? No, I think I got everyone so far who is here. But yes, so besides our favorites at home minding their business, doing whatever it is they're doing, uh, Prince Harry, obviously, we know that he is going to be awarded with the Pat Tillman Award on July 11th. And it seems like and not it seems, but everything the Sussexes are doing, anytime they're being honored, those on Shutter Island go into, it's like, I don't know, they take stupid pills or something. Just like, do you guys take like a shot of stupidity or something? And it is embarrassing, and I have like secondhand embarrassment for them, but it seems like they're not embarrassed by their behavior at all. And it just, I don't know what is going on with these people. But apparently the Daily Fail, as usual, and one of its reporters, apparently that same reporter who befriended Thomas Markle and went to live right next door, got an apartment right next door to him. I think it's when he was living in Mexico. And so she can get all the dirt on Meghan, and which, apparently she didn't get any dirt, but she did. She was the one that wrote and put Meghan's letter in the Daily Mail, which of course we know Meghan sued and won. But same reporter went and spoke with Pat Tillman's mother. And I'm assuming she didn't tell Pat Tillman's mother that Harry is suing the Daily Mail. I'm sure that little piece of information she left out. But she went and got some sound bites from Mrs. Tillman. I'm assuming she's a Mrs. Tillman. And who's basically, you don't want to rag on a Gold Star mom. She lost her son in war. And but the level of ignorance there is astounding to me, and I think that's the reason why I didn't even want to address any of this nonsense, because it's like you're talking to ignorant people. It's like people who have just literally all they had to do was Google, All they had to do, if they had questions about Harry and what he's been doing and what he has done for the military, all they had to do is Google, or all she had to do was call her daughter-in-law. You know, her daughter-in-law is who founded and run the Pat Tillman Foundation, who they are the ones that did. They are the ones that did and chose Prince Harry. All she had to do was call her and talk to her. So the level of ignorance there is just like, okay, you just want to be ignorant, you just want to talk. And so I'm glad Harry and Meghan have not responded to it. I hope they never do. And because again, it's a level of ignorance. It's like you don't want to give it any air. You don't want to give it because it's like you don't gain anything from that nonsense. Just let ignorant people be ignorant people. And again, you don't want to rag at Pat Tillman's mother, but what she did was just completely uncalled for and completely, I mean, again, she could have just called her daughter-in-law. That's all she needed to do. And but his wife is the one that runs the foundation and not his mother. And apparently, according to people who did in an article today, who posted an article today, she has never been contacted for any of the recipients for the Pat Tillman Award. And some very, again, ignorant people are like, well, what has Harry ever done for the United States and all of this nonsense? Well, I think the last award was Marcus Rashford, the footballer in the UK. So then, can somebody tell me what Marcus Rashford has ever done for the United States? And nobody has said a word about it because, again, Marcus isn't suing the Daily Mail. He isn't suing Rupert Murdoch's tabloid. So the ones that you see would be pushing this really hard would be the Daily Mail, and also in the United States you'll see TMZ, which is Rupert Murdoch owned, the New York Post, which is New York Rupert Murdoch owned. You'll see this U.S. Sun and the UK Sun, all Rupert Murdoch owned. You'll see maybe the Wall Street Journal has it. That's also owned by Rupert Murdoch. You'll probably see Fox News, also owned by Rupert Murdoch. All of these, don't be surprised when you see all of these really pushing the stupid narrative. And I think if you know anything about what Prince Harry has done, to have this angle is just, I mean, you'd have to be really stupid to want to have this angle because it just makes you look ignorant. And so an angle of, oh, Harry doesn't deserve to have this award, or he is not the right person for this award. And I'm like, lady, your husband did a tour in Iraq. He did a tour in Afghanistan. Harry did 2 tours in Afghanistan. Your husband died. Not your husband. I'm so sorry. Your son. Your son died. Not died, but he was killed by the U.S. military, and they hid it until after, I guess, a memorial, until they acknowledged that it was quote unquote friendly fire, which means, if you don't know what that is American forces killed their own. And so they killed Pat Tillman. I guess they mistook him for quote unquote enemy combatants and killed him. And so Harry lived. Harry served and he lived. And he came back and has been serving the military since he's come back, since 2013. And for the last 10 years have created Invictus Games. And not only is he Invictus Games a lifeline for many veterans around the world, many of whom would not be alive today if had it not been for the Invictus Games. And not only doing that, he's also supporting and advocating for children of the fallen through Scotty's Little Soldiers as a world ambassador for Scotty Little Soldiers. So for his mother to be claiming that Harry is not the right person for this, I mean, the level of ignorance there is just, again, astounding. And again, that's just someone who did not take the time. And I'm assuming she is a bright lady and a smart lady. If only she had taken the time to understand who Harry is and understand the work, or even know the work he's done. But it could just be a thing where, Daily Mail called her up and she didn't know about it, and she just said what she thinks and thought in the moment, instead of really saying, well, I don't really know anything about it, let me find out, let me call my daughter-in-law and find out, and then I'll get back to you or something, even if she wanted to do the thing with the Daily Mail. But I think again, and again, this the ignorance of not knowing who you're talking to, and you're speaking when you're giving interviews with people. I think one of the things you need to do as anyone, and especially someone with a profile, is do a little research into who you're talking to. Do a real little research into the publication you're talking. What is the reputation of the publication you're talking to? And so it's just it just makes her look like ignorant. And then again, you don't want to say that about someone who lost their son, but her comments are just so ridiculous and ignorant that it's just like, lady, this just makes you look stupid. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to your own son? And to say like what Harry has done is, that it's not, he's not the right person. Well, who is the right person? A footballer who has never been in the military? Yes, Marcus Rashford does great work in that, he did the great thing. And when those MPs did not want to feed children during this, was it 2 summers ago during the pandemic, he stepped in and really advocated for them to get them food. That is a great thing. That is a wonderful thing. But if you want to talk about, and of course he plays football. But if you want to talk about someone who is absolutely qualified, as somebody who's actually walked in your son's footsteps, except he lived, who has been in war and who is, and so it's just like, I don't understand why people put themselves in these kind of situations, but it's very funny. But, ESPN put out a statement today, and I'm glad again they are doing it, and Harry and Meghan don't have to say a word. Let stupid people just be stupid people. I ESPN put out a statement basically saying that the decisions for who they choose for the Pat Tillman Award is made by the Pat Tillman with ESPN. I'm sorry, the SB or ESPN, and the Pat Tillman Foundation, which is again founded and run by Pat Tillman's wife, and they are very and they said that the work that they are honoring Prince Harry because of his work with the Invictus Games. They could have also put there the fact that he served 2 tours of duty in Afghanistan. So it's a little windy, so I hope I'm not it's not breaking up too much. But and they really, the work that Invictus Games does is worthy of this award, and so they are happy with it. The Invictus Foundation, the Pat Tillman Foundation, who also made that choice of honoring Harry and Invictus Games, are happy with it. So, this is, of course, it's not going to be the end of it, because obviously Prince Harry is suing the Daily Mail and suing the Sun, Rupert Murdoch and Lord Rotherham. So they, until July 11th, expect nonsense coming from them in all directions, them and their trolls. And so it's just I'm like, you almost don't even want to talk about it, because again, it's just like, this is idiocy. This is just stupid. It's just like, why would you just put stuff out there to make you look stupid? And so it's just a level of things that I just really Marjorie says, and now that ESPN has put out the statement, now they're calling out for Meghan to come out. To come out where? And I think all of this nonsense from the press is Harry and Meghan have basically paid them dust. Ever since they came back from Nigeria, you have not seen them. We've only seen Harry that one time, and at the Africa Parks dinner, that one time that Holly Robinson Pete posted that photo, and someone saw Meghan on a trail in, I think, in Beverly Hills, I think, somewhere. It looks like she's shooting something, and that's been it. Nobody has really seen them out and about. And so Harry and Meghan, no matter what they've done, they've literally paid them dust. And so they have nothing to write about. So it's like they're clutching at straws. And so this is like, oh, let's jump on something to write about. We need to make money. And so, but again, it's just absolute nonsense. And so I am just very happy that Harry is getting his award, and I hope they just continue to pay them, not respond to any of this, and then just show up on the night and accept the award, and and have a great time. So yeah, But again, the British press are going to be doing so. I guess it's, it's on all squaddies. One, to not engage. Do not engage in this nonsense with the press, and also use this. Okay, so they want to be talking about this all the time. This is the perfect time to use all their nonsense to promote Invictus games. The games are coming up in February. Promote, promote, promote. Use this to blast all the things that Invictus games are doing. Post about previous Invictus games. There are a lot of people around the world, really, and in the US and the UK, who don't know about Invictus games. Some of who may be veterans who don't know that the Invictus games exist, and may hear, and they may pick up say a New York Post or something, or may turn on the TV and see a TMZ and don't know what this Invictus games is stuff. So let's keep, I would say, use all of this and use it for good. And just keep promoting everything, including the fact that you can now pre-register for tickets if you're in, well, at least pre-register your interest in getting opening and closing ceremony for the Invictus games in Vancouver Whistler. So I already registered for my opening and closing the night or day tickets for the games. So you can do that on the Invictus Vancouver Whistler website. I think you're going to probably even find it on the Invictus Foundation website as well. So you can register there and share it. They, of course, they are doing a whole bunch of stuff all around the world at any given times. So check out their website and share all the things that they're doing. Also, go to Sussexes.com and share all the things that they're doing there. And so use this, and the press is focused on Harry and Meghan now. So now is a great time to share everything that they're doing, so the people who don't know what they're doing can know what they're doing. So yeah, we don't need, oh, hang on. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. Okay, we don't need to engage in what they're doing. We just need to use their attention to promote what we want to promote. That's all you do. Now that all of their attention are on it, use that attention to promote the things that we want to promote about our faves. And so, yeah. And there's nothing you can do. We're not paying them thus. We're just using their attention. And that's how you get your message across. Use the attention that people are giving you to promote the things you want to promote. So this is what I say for everyone. Just use this attention and promote all the things that we love about our faves and our faves are doing. Use it to promote that. So yeah. What else? Yulivi said they just can't wrap their heads around Harry's success. The more hate they have, the more blessed the Sussexes will be. Well, that lady has beef with a daughter-in-law. She was being petty. Oh, she has a, well, it did give me pause for a second why she wouldn't just have gone and spoken to her daughter-in-law instead of saying those things in the press. And again, she is apparent, according to the People article that I saw, she has never been contacted for any of this. She has never been a part of making any decisions or anybody contacting her with who they nominate to receive the Pat Tillman Award. So I don't know why that is an issue this time. Like, she could have said that, you know what, they don't usually contact me, or that she doesn't really have any say in who they, or she doesn't have any say in who they choose. She could have said that, but she let it sit there as if this is a norm that they would normally contact her and she would have a say in who is chosen for her son's award. I mean, that would be nice in a perfect world. That would be nice that she has a say in her son's award, but she has no say in the foundation. It's not hers. It's run by her daughter-in-law. It's Pat Tillman's wife. And I think she has a lot more say than the mom. So, yeah. Let's see what else you guys are saying over here. I'm not sure what, Marjorie, explain what you mean by they're calling out for Meghan to come out. What does that mean? What do they want from Meghan? Meghan is like minding her own business. These people are crazy. Marjorie says Megan to come to the awards for Harry. I mean, it's so fun. Again, it's all of this is because Harry and Meghan have really ignored them and paid them dust. And they need to make money, and the only way they can make money is this way. So who knows if Meghan comes or not? Maybe she'll just let it be about Harry and not about her, because when Meghan comes, they'll try to make it all about Meghan and claim that Meghan is trying to steal focus from Harry. We know the drill. We know what they always do. That's what they always do. So who knows? Um, Karen M says, but I want to know what have Mary Tillman ever done to honor her son since 2004? Nothing. She hasn't even helped with the foundation named after her son. So she can just sit down. I don't know. I don't know what she's done. I only know that when Pat Tillman died, she really was upset with the government because, again, people want to call military heroes, and they want to call they look like Pat Tillman, and he's a hero because he went and served this country and he went to protect freedom and all of those things. But I think we have to understand what really happened there. That's why, even though in a lot of ways I think it's heroic to serve your country and all of those things, it's definitely, you put your life on the line, you put your, and a lot of them pay with their lives. The thing about this is, especially with Iraq and Afghanistan, they were not based on truth. They weren't there doing that. They were they were lied to by the government, the United States government, especially the war in Iraq. I think when Pat Tillman first joined there, I think he was in the Rangers or something like that. He was part of, when he first joined, I think it was during the Iraq war, and that we know that, I think he served a term in Iraq. All of that was based on a lie. It was a lie about that Iraq or Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction. And the United States government sent American young men and women to go fight a war based on a lie. And all of these Americans were killed. They massacred thousands and thousands of innocent Iraqis. Thousands of children, women and children were killed, all for a lie. And where did that lie originate? Benjamin Netanyahu. And the same thing with Afghanistan. It's the same thing. And I know it's like, oh yes, they went because of 9/11 and all of those things. Well, some of the things that we've learned even about 9/11 are a lie, and what Israel's involvement with that. And also we know that from Benjamin Netanyahu's own mouth, if Afghanistan was the next country after Iraq that he wanted American basically to go and take out. And it's like we've been fighting Israel's wars without really realizing it. And so they sent young men into these spaces to kill black and brown people, to basically steal resources from these countries. And a lot of this wars and all of this stuff has been because of Israel. And it's just been sickening. And so you send people in there and you're like, oh, well, they come back and they're heroes. And you're like, yes, in the sense of they served their country, they went where their commander-in-chief, the president of the United States, sent them. But it was all based on a lie. Even Colin Powell, before he died, apologized for that lie. And so with Pat Tillman, even when he died, the government was like, oh, he died from enemy fire. And for all the time, that's what people believed, until they finally had to come clean that it was friendly fire. His own people killed him. And again, they said it was that they made a mistake. They thought it was enemy combatants, and he was shot dead by Americans. And so you have all these things, and you're like, we can't get too much like, oh my God, this person is a hero. And it's like when you look at the whole of what happened in these wars, it's like there's nothing heroic about it. Yes, the soldiers went because they truly believed that what they were doing was fighting an enemy. What they didn't realize is that the people who sent them in there were the enemy. And so it just is really, really sick. what happened and what is still happening today. And so I know she was very upset, as any mother would. I would be very angry because there was a lot of lies that was told about it, and we're still being lied to. And one of the reasons, what's his name? Oh goodness, I just forgot his name. But anyways, a lot of stuff has been coming. One of the reasons that the ICC has been investigating the United States, and one of the reasons that they really want to sanction, Congress voted to sanction the ICC after they openly actually charged Benjamin Netanyahu and Yoav Gallant with war crimes. One of the reasons also, along with that, why the United States are very, very angry at the ICC, and why they really want to sanction them again, as Trump did in 2022. In 2020, is because the ICC has opened an investigation into war crimes committed by the United States in Iraq and Afghanistan. And so, yeah, it's really, again, soldiers went with the belief that they are serving their country, and they went with the belief that they are protecting freedom and protecting American freedom and all of that. It was all a lie. It was a lie. It was all based on a lie. And, they went there thinking that, especially in Iraq, that, there were weapons of mass destruction and they need to go and get rid of these weapons of mass destruction that, that would endanger the world, especially America. All of it was lies. It was all a lie. And now there was this, I forgot what his name is in the White House. Recently, they were doing a press conference, and he was making excuses for Benjamin Netanyahu. I think it was when they blew up these tents and really massacred these babies. They were saying that, it was Benjamin Netanyahu was like, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. It wasn't meant to happen, and all of that stuff. And this, I think his name is John whatever, one of the spokespeople for the White House, he did a press conference saying that, that America can't really say anything because we've made mistakes too. We've made mistakes from, Iraq and also Afghanistan. And I'm like, I don't think those people in Iraq and Afghanistan would be calling what you did a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. You deliberately went into these countries. You lied to the American people. You lied to the world. You went in there, and because of you, thousands of American soldiers are killed. Thousands and thousands of Iraqis, men, women, and children were massacred, and now you're being investigated for war crimes. This was not a mistake. This was deliberate. And so it's always like when you see these kind of things. I mean, that's one of the reasons Julian Assange, who just was free this past, 5 days ago. He has been in prison for 14 years. Some of them he basically had to basically stay in an embassy so he doesn't get arrested. And then he was in prison, in the UK for like 4 or 5 years, altogether 14 years. Why? Because he exposed the US government for what they were doing, the crimes that they were committing in especially Iraq. That was one of the reasons he was in jail. Apart from US surveillance on citizens that innocent citizens that were nothing to do with military, but a big reason was because he exposed the war crimes that was committed by the United States and their allies in Iraq especially, and Afghanistan. That's the reason, again, why the ICC is investigating. Instead of them jailing the people, the presidents, like the Bush administration, that lied about these weapons of mass destruction to give them excuse to go into Iraq and then really talk about raping people's resources. They basically raided the countries of their resources. Instead of arresting them, they arrested Julian Assange. And this man has been basically imprisoned for 14 years because he exposed the crime. And so the criminals are not getting exposed. They weren't the ones that were in jail. The person that exposed the crime was in jail. And again, all of this stuff is related. So Pat Tillman is right in the middle of all of this. So again, when we think about heroes, and again, if they went in there with a pure heart of thinking they were really defending their country, but the reality of it, they went there to help the United States basically rip off these countries and destabilize governments, you know, because they want to get, it's the same thing they're doing in Gaza right now. It's the exact same thing they're doing in Gaza right now. It's like rinse and repeat. And so hence, you have the ICC investigating, and then they are now, okay, we are going to sanction you because we don't want the world to know what we've been doing. And so it's just, again, it's the same patterns. It's just that more and more people's eyes are now open to what the country is doing. So yeah. Anyways, that was a long answer. Karen M, I'm sorry. It's just a little long-winded there. Yeah. THE Theta says he did not want to kill for oil. Again, no, he went there. The soldiers went there because they were lied to. They went there thinking, because that's what they were told. They went there to get rid of because if you're told, and you're a military, and you're told that, oh my gosh, this country has weapons of mass destruction, they could wipe out the entire world with this stuff. And it's like, oh my gosh, we are going to go there to protect the world. We're going to go there to get rid of this weapons of mass destruction that will wipe out the world. So they went there thinking that's what they were doing. There was never any weapons of mass destruction. Ever. There was never any weapons of mass destruction. They lied to them. And I remember one of the most disgusting thing I've ever seen is George Bush. He was doing something, and then he was joking about the weapons of mass destruction. And I'm like, people, Americans' lives were taken because of your lie, and you guys are now making joke about this? So I understand his mother being angry. I would be very angry too. Because justice was never done for all the Americans killed in Iraq. And to go about them, justice for the Iraqis. I mean, we saw videos from Abu Ghraib where soldiers were literally committing war crimes, and that was the least. I mean, that was small potatoes apparently compared to some of the things. I mean, one of the videos that WikiLeaks released was U.S. soldiers in a helicopter, basically gunning down a group of men just sitting. I think they said it was like it looks like a well-to-do neighborhood, and they were just standing around talking, and they just completely wiped them out. And it turns out that two of the people that they killed in that group were Reuters reporters. And so all of that stuff, that's what WikiLeaks revealed. And so that was more than the American government could take. And they basically put out a warrant for his arrest. And hence he was in jail for 14 years. And so, yeah, it's really sick. It is really, really sick what happened with that whole thing. So, Yalibi said, that's why I'm not down with the criticism of Putin. I think with all of those things, look, are any of these leaders around the world saints? No, they're not. Have they committed crimes? Yes, they have. But I think when you hear United States or Israel or one of them label people, and I talk about this all the time, when you label people as a terror group or as a whatever, the axis of evil, which is what the Bushes like to label they call their enemies, the axis of evil. I was like, y'all just need to be looking in a mirror when you say stuff like this, because you think of the axis of evil. It's like, it's like, that's not the people you're naming. You need to look at yourself and call yourself an axis of evil, because you're the ones going around destabilizing government and creating war around the world. So it's a little bit hypocritical to be calling people evil when you've been committing evil acts. So yeah, So again, when you talk about stuff and when you think about heroes, we have to be careful in terms of these things, especially when it has to do with war. Because what were they doing? Even if it's like you go there to go to another country to protect American freedom or whatever, but what exactly are they doing? They're not going there to make cupcakes. They're literally going there, and you think in terms of Afghanistan and Iraq. What American and Allied forces were doing were killing black and brown people in a country, with a lot less, powerful army, a lot less wealth, and all of that stuff than the United States. Is exactly what is happening. Think Palestine right now. That's what they sent the American soldiers to do. You hear soldiers now say, I'm not doing this again. I'm not going to another country to go kill people that look like me. Yeah, that is what they're doing. And so we have to be very careful. And, that's why when people are talking about even Pat Tillman in these reverential, almost like he's Jesus come down, it's like, no. Yes, he went to, it's an honorable thing that he left, football and to what he thought was serving his country. But no, what was he literally doing? Even Prince Harry talked about it in Spare. What were they doing? They went there to kill other people. That's what war is. That's what they're doing. And as and you read Spared, Harry talks about the othering that they have to do. When they look at them, they don't see human beings. In the last episode I did about Yoav Gallant in Israel, he's the defense minister, how he described the people of Palestine as human animals. That's how they treat black and brown people when they go into these countries for wars. You other them, they are not human beings. And people were angry at Prince Harry when he referred to it as, chess pieces on a board that you eliminate. That is how they didn't want us to know that that's how they look at them, but that's how they do. That's how they look at them. You other them and you make them inhuman so that you can, quote unquote, eliminate them. And that's what they do. And so we can't be looking at these things and yes, I admire the courage to go and fight for your country and all of that stuff. But no, they're not these I don't elevate anyone to the point where it's kind of like, oh, they're these heroes that are just sort of come down from the heaven doing, no, no, that's not what they're doing. So yeah, war is brutal and that's what they were doing. So yeah. Let's see. Yolibi said, look at what is happening in the Congo. Yeah. I mean, I did an episode, a couple, I think, of episodes on the Congo. I am going to do some more about what's happening there. And you look at what's happening, what just almost happened in Bolivia with the CIA trying to destabilize the Bolivian government. It's just like, hello. And again, when you see stuff like that, it's just like, people call like, oh, we're defending freedom. No, you're not. You're just trying to steal people's minerals. You're trying to steal their resources. That's what you're trying to do. Which is what they did. They stole so much from the Iraqi people. And they're doing the same thing to Gaza, which, that $1 trillion gas that they have out off the coast of Gaza. That's what Israel has always wanted. I've said from day one, this has nothing to do with Hamas. Absolutely nothing to do with Hamas. It has nothing to do with even the hostages. What it has to do is ethnic cleansing and stealing Palestinians' land and resources. That's what it has to do with. So, yeah. Anyways, moving on from this, I didn't mean to have this long conversation about this. Just like, yeah. But again, I hope that Pat Tillman's mom, when she sees all the crazy headlines that her remarks, created, that she would educate herself. And she doesn't have to like Harry. She doesn't have to approve of Harry. She doesn't have to like or approve of the Invictus Games, but at least not be making stupid statements. It's a dishonor to her son, even to make the kind of statements that she made. And so I hope that she would go off and educate herself that she wouldn't do something that stupid again. And that is not honoring her son at all. So yeah. Emerald says, my mother always said war is hell. So true. I mean, yeah, it is actually hell. It's definitely hell. So, and especially for the people most impacted by that. So yeah. Let's see. Oh, Lydia's here. Hello, Lydia. JSC is. Wait, did you say bye, JSC? I guess JSC came on and ran off. Look, I know what I was just talking about is heavy stuff. It is heavy, heavy, heavy stuff. So, when you're dealing with stuff like this, it's like we have to get real about what it is we're talking about. And unfortunately, it's not pleasant stuff. So, yeah, it is not pleasant. But hello, Connie Bama. How are you? Hi, Emerald and Marianne, Leah Levy. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Janice. How are you? So, away from that stuff, you know, I totally different direction here. I finished reading because I told you guys I was reading Charles Spencer, which is Princess Diana's brother, Harry. Harry. And oh, by the way, today would have been Princess Diana's 63rd birthday. So happy. Well, not happy, but I don't even want to say happy because she's not here anymore. So I don't even know how you say this because again, it's supposed to would have been her 63rd birthday. So don't know what the Sussexes are doing. Obviously, they wouldn't tell us, they are private. So what they're doing to celebrate her life or honor her life. So who knows what they're doing, but today would have been her 63rd birthday. And I know I saw a lot of squatties posting a lot of things in her memory. So yeah, really, oh, I wish this woman was here so much. My goodness, to see what Harry has accomplished and done and how he has honored her. It's just absolutely, absolutely amazing. So yeah, so in memory of Princess Diana. And it's so funny because I was gonna go very close to it, but there's a lake right in front of me, but it's gotten moss all over the lake. It's usually was such a cute lake that was like flowing, but I guess it's now stagnant, and so the moss has taken over and it looks green. I walk by it and the thing looks like a chemical. Like a chemical is in there, and it's like, oh. So you could probably see it all the way. That little green you're seeing at the bottom there is that little lake that was there. So I guess it's now stagnant and not doing anything, and it's now taken over, and it looks like a green chemical in there. So that's why I'm away from it. So but so yeah, so the funny thing with this is not funny, haha, but where Princess Diana is buried in Althorp, at Althorp House, where Charles Spencer's house. And so she's buried on that property. There's a little island out there. If you haven't seen that, there's a little island out there, and that's where she is buried. Like, you have to take a little boat to go over to that little island. And so, and it's wild as I'm talking about this, and I'm looking at the green moss. There was a time that he had allowed it to get so bad that it was literally taken over by this moss, and it was not clean. And he got outed by one of Diana, I think it was her security, got out. She outed him, and he actually outed him and called him out for not maintaining that lake. And so after that, they really cleaned it up, and now, I'm assuming it's still that way, because the last time I looked at it, they cleaned it up and it was really beautiful. And again, you could take a little boat over there. So in honor of Diana and the lake, even though our lake our lake looked like Charles's lake looked before he cleaned it up. So but imagining it being nice as it is now, in honor of Princess Diana, a little water that I don't have a boat, but yeah. So anyways, so yes, it would be interesting if Harry and Meghan ever talk about what they do to celebrate or honor her life on her birthday. I don't think they will. Anyways, talking about Charles Spencer, I finished reading his book, and I didn't know, and maybe you guys knew and I just didn't know. I didn't realize that the Queen was his godmother. I was like, oh really? I had no idea. And apparently she had about 30 godchildren. I was like, shoot, everybody in society wanted her to be their godmother. So he was her her godson, and he talked about her giving him a gift every Christmas, and she gave him like this like radio thing that it disguised in like, as like a book or something like that, that he snuck into school. Of course, the book that I finished reading is called A Very Private School, which is not a pleasant book at all. It's about just the horrors that he faced at that private school. So part of that is him talking about going home and his wider family. And so he mentioned that Queen Elizabeth is his godmother. And he talks about when they go to Parliament at the start of Parliament, and the Queen would go, and this little page boy is back and is kind of holding up her, what do you call those things, her cape or something, these long cape things that they wear, and you have this little page boy carrying that. Well, he was one of the 12, and so when he was about 12 years old, he was supposed to go and carry her, train thing into Parliament, but he had to sit his common entrance exam, and so he had to cancel and let somebody else do it. But he was the one scheduled to do it, and I was like, oh my goodness, who knew? And so he talked about, I think it was like her jubilee or something like that, one of her jubilees, and him just standing there, and her walk by looking down at him and smiling. And I was like, I'm telling you. But the funny thing with Charles Spencer is, now he is so not into royals. He is not into them at all. I mean, we all remember, when Princess Diana died, he laid them out right there in front of the world at the church at her funeral service. He called them out and called out the media. But it's just very interesting how really close Diana and Diana's family were to the royals. And of course, they have more of a history. I mean, the Windsors are German, so they're not even British. And so they have so much more of a history, and their house was back, their like Althorp, I think, is from the 1500s or something like that. And so it's just like their family history goes back so far. And the Windsors and where they were living before they moved to Althorp, it was a place, I think it was, his grandfather was like best friends with the Queen's father when he was king. And so they were living at a house that I think was leased from the Windsors. And so they literally all grew up together. I was just like, that's so interesting. So very interesting. And I think one of the sisters, if I'm not mistaken, was born the same day that King George, I think King George is Queen Elizabeth's father. I think she was born the same day that he died or something like that. And I was like, oh my goodness. And so, I mean, the history that these two, and again, look at him now, he's totally not into them at all. And he's just so blasé about them, because I guess he knows that he has more of a history in the UK than the Windsors. Again, they are German, so they don't. So yeah, it's all very, very interesting. And I just thought I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Who knew? And he was talking about when he had to do like I think it was like a confirmation or something like that. I don't remember what they call it. He was afraid that because at 12 you have to be careful with not wanting to be bullied, and so because he came from a very, very prominent family, he needed to fit in so he didn't get bullied. And so he wanted to do his confirmation at his school, which is like miles and miles away from Windsor, because he was afraid if he did it at like Eton or one of those places, the Queen will come and then people would start looking at him weird and bully him because of his connections. So he did it far away because he didn't want the Queen to come. Because she would, that's her godson, so she would have been like felt obligated to go. And it's those little tidbits that you're like, that is so interesting. So very interesting. Let's see. Chody says Diana before they were playing around together with the Windsor's children, especially Prince Edward. Yeah, they all kind of grew up together. And it's really wild, and which makes it all the more weird how Charles treated Diana. it's just like they grew up together. They were in the same circles. Their family intertwined in so many ways. And again, Charles's grandfather, Princess Diana's grandfather, was really besties with the Queen's father. And so it's just like they all literally grew up together. And the way he treated her, it's like, I don't understand why you would do that. I really, really, that is just, I don't know. It's so odd that he treated her so badly. And so, yeah, it's almost like they were extended family. So, let's see what else you guys are saying. Oh, good afternoon, Ghislaine. So, let's see. Mm, um, Wait, it's Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to everyone. Canada in the house. Well, I didn't realize. I didn't know it was Canada Day today. Happy Canada Day. Oh my goodness, how wonderful. That's great. Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian squatties. So, let's see. Um, Sylvia says, I'm going back, I guess, to Pat Tillman. It says, the UK media and their trolls are not sensible. To argue with them is insane. These are the people who say Meghan shouldn't attend Invictus with her husband. Meghan's allowed to support her husband. Again, the ignorance and stupid level is just way high, and so you kind of just don't want to engage, because then you don't gain anything from that. You engage with people that just do stupid stuff like that and say stupid things like that. And I think a lot of them say stuff because they want engagement. They want people to come and argue with them, which would give them engagement. So I have to believe that maybe that's why they do it. So yeah, very, very, it's ridiculous. Let's see. Wait, somebody is 14 months? And I can't oh goodness, I am on my phone, so this doesn't tell me exactly. Hang on one second, let's see if I can find it. Hold on. TMCD. Oh, thank you so much. 14 months. Wow. Thank you for your support. She says, remembering Diana, the queen of people's hearts. And she always will remain that. I mean, someone posted on X today, the only Princess of Wales that I will ever recognize. Same here. Same here. Same here. Colette says, hey, Petal, I'm happy to hear you after being on a hurricane watch on my island. Oh, my goodness. And the rest of the Caribbean. I saw that. I saw little videos of the hurricane watch. I'm hoping that a lot, like the biggest part of it, blows over and stays out at sea or something. So, my goodness. I saw Jamaica was, and the Prime Minister Andrew Holness was preparing Jamaicans for that, and so I am hoping, because again, goodness, hurricanes can wreak havoc on your infrastructure, and so yeah, St. Thomas, where and and the Virgin Islands and all of these, a few years ago they had like a category 5 hurricane that they still are trying. I don't even think they're fully recovered from. So yeah, it just so sorry Colette. I hope you guys were have safe places, so if anything happens you can go there. So yeah. Oh, hurricanes. I mean, if you're in Europe, I am so sorry, because and also China, Switzerland, Austria, Italy have had brutal weather over the last weekend. They have these massive flash floods that's been happening. It is like scary. It is, for those people who are like, there is no climate change. Yeah, explain that. The last couple of years, I mean, there have been so many of these flash floods. India also has flash floods, and then, that's going to go to African countries who have the least carbon footprints of any, continent. And so they also always face the brunt of all of this stuff. So, yeah. But please, please, please pray. I mean, goodness, if you've seen the flash floods from especially Switzerland and Italy and China, oh my gosh, Absolutely. I mean, when you see the cars just sort of going down the street like paper, then you're like, we're in trouble. So yeah, Switzerland, the beautiful mountainside, oh, collapsing. They have like mudslides and all kind of stuff happening in Switzerland. It's just crazy. Colette says, pedal is good. We are fine now. Oh, thank God. Thank goodness. I am happy. Let's see. What else? So please pray for our brothers and sisters there all over the world. There's craziness happening. Let's see. Let's see what else. And what else is happening? I sort of had my eyes not so focused on royal stuff again. Not a whole lot is happening. I know Princess Anne is now home from the hospital, so I would assume she will be recovering for a while. I know I saw something where she was apologizing for not being able to go to Canada. Again, what does this lady do? What impact does all her traveling and stuff, what impact has she had? Don't know. So yeah. um TMCD says Beryl. Oh, the name is Beryl. I have not heard, that is such a Caribbean name. I have not heard that name in such a long time. Beryl. Beryl will hit Jamaica about Wednesday. Oh, okay. So that's why I saw the sort of news bulletin update thing from Prime Minister Andrew Holness. So yeah. Wow. Yeah, much prayers. Let's pray for our Jamaican squaddies and all the islands around it. So yeah. Let's see. What else? So yeah, Princess Anne, I mean, they said she's fine, so I guess she will be out and about pretty soon. The rest of them, oh, yes, it's so funny with people who claim that Prince Harry doesn't deserve. It's like, that's such a stupid statement. Doesn't deserve the Pat Tillman Award, or he hasn't done anything to earn the Pat Tillman Award. And then the same people would be happily posting, I think it was, what was it, Veterans, not Veterans Day, I forgot what it's called, Armed Services Day, I think it was called in the UK, a few days ago. And instead of honoring people who actually served, King Charles puts out this this portrait of himself with all of his chocolate medals. And the same people who would be posting stupid stuff like that, the same people who would be like applauding that, the same people who would be applauding Prince William getting this unit in the military that Harry previously served on, these same people would be like posting this and be like, yeah, King Charles. And they're the same ones who are like, oh, Harry does not deserve the Pat Tillman Award. And it's just like, again, the stupidity of this all is just like, why would you, for Armed Services Day, center yourself instead of centering the military who actually out there serving to this day? It's just, again, unbelievable. And him in full regalia, full medals and everything. Honestly. Chody Stacy says, nothing will stop our hero Prince Harry from receiving his award. Let the mutated worms keep turning in their salty mud. Exactly. Exactly. I couldn't say it better, Cho. It's just so crazy. So, what else? I am outside, so I don't have any receipts. I can't do receipts on my phone. So hopefully you don't mind. If you need a link to something I've said, definitely let me know, and I will be happy to post it in our community page so everyone can take a look. So yeah, but I am outside. When I'm on my phone, it doesn't allow me to do post receipts as when I'm on my laptop. So yeah. Let's see. Lorna says, I think Princess Anne was supposed to be in Newfoundland, Canada today for a reinterment, I think that's how that says, of an unknown Newfoundland soldier. The ceremony took place this morning. Oh, I see. Okay. That makes sense. And don't know why Princess Anne has these patronages, military patronages. But again, the same people who would be praising that are the ones who are claiming Harry does not deserve a honor, or he does not deserve as a, soldier who did 2 tours in Afghanistan doesn't deserve an award named after a soldier who did a tour in Afghanistan and Iraq. Just, I get the stupidity of it all. So, yeah. Let's see. What else? Other things coming from the UK. I know. I saw that. Oh, Simon Case. Yes. Simon Case, that fly who always finds some caca to go light on, apparently is leaving the government. He is apparently resigning. He is going to stay until, because on July 4th is the election. People are going to be electing the new prime minister, the new, leaders of the UK, which, my goodness, if there is any God, will not be Keir Starmer, because don't expect any difference from what they have now. Keir Starmer is a Tory in everything but name. And so I hope, to think these people could have had Jeremy Corbyn and then Keir Starmer is a choice. Unbelievable. So they're going to have their election. And so apparently he is going to stay to help whomever is going to take his position to transition into their role, to do their role, whatever. So he's going to stay until January, and then he'll be leaving the government, which I thought he would do anyway, because again, as Harry say, he'll always find caca to light on. Who knows? Maybe he'll go back to the caca in the in the royal family. I wouldn't be surprised. They fit each other. So yeah, so he's going to be leaving government in January. Very, very interesting. And something else I was going to talk about. Oh, it's funny because I don't think I talked about Harry and his court case. I think I forgot to talk about that. Or did I talk about that in the last episode? I don't remember. I don't think I did. So I think by now you guys know that Prince Harry, the judge has ordered Prince Harry to basically write a letter to him at court explaining why he apparently met text and WhatsApp messages has been deleted between him and J.R. Moringer. I had to laugh when I read that, because the people who are making that accusation, of course, is the same son who Will Lewis, who is still, by the way, the editor for the Washington Post, is accused of deleting millions of emails. The same people are accusing Harry of deleting correspondence between him and J.R. Moringer that apparently the judge claim is needed to determine if Harry knew about the hacking of his, or at least the illegal news gathering of his private information before 2016. And so the judge is, I guess, convinced, or the son convinced the judge that whatever it is that Harry was saying to J.R. Moringer, obviously, J.R. Moringer is the ghostwriter for Harry's book Spare, that is relevant to this court case. And I'm like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, for number one, Prince Harry is not on trial. He did not commit a crime. So what they are trying to do is exactly what the Daily Mail did to Meghan when Meghan had sued them, and for violating her privacy and violating the copyright of her letter and posting it by that same woman who got I guess the soundbite from Pat Tillman's mother. They are trying to do the same thing. When we remember when they, and even Meghan talked about it in the Harry and Meghan docu-series, what they did was they used Finding Freedom and then use the book to try to get all this information and behind the scenes information about how that book was written. And then they demanded of Meghan, they gave her these keywords like love and Kate and all of that, and Meghan had to turn over all of her text messages, all of her WhatsApp messages, and all of those things. They violated her privacy, and yet they were able to get, because of disclosure, they were able to get all of this other private information out of Meghan to write more articles about. And this is exactly what they're trying to do. So swap out Finding Freedom for Spare and swap out Meghan's WhatsApp messages and text messages for Harry's WhatsApp. And I think the other messaging place that he uses was something, I think it's called Signal or something like that. I don't remember. I'd never heard about it before. And apparently, according to the judge, Harry deleted it. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for deleting it. All of it. Wipe it. Because this is exactly what they're doing to Meghan, is what they're doing to Harry. They want that. This has nothing to do with the case, because when you look at Meghan's case and how it ended, Finding Freedom did not play into it. The information that came out of that Jason Knauf provided via, Prince William giving him permission to provide that to the court and to the Daily Mail or Mail on Sunday, none of that played a role in the ultimate decision. All it did was give the Daily Mail more information so they can write more articles and make more money off of him. And that is exactly what the Sun is trying to do here. So just swap out, Finding Freedom for Spare, and swap out Meghan's text messages, etc., for Harry's WhatsApp stuff. Harry's lawyer said that Harry has already, on his own, gone above and beyond to get the whatever information they needed, but now they still want to get his text messages and his messages to J.R. Moringer. I hope Harry has wiped all of them. Harry is not on trial, and they should not have to. And again, I've said this about this judge. When Harry wanted to call Rupert Murdoch to the stand, the judge allow Harry to basically call and name the reporters, but is protecting Rupert Murdoch. Like, why? He is the owner of this paper. Why are you protecting the owner, but you're giving up the reporters? That doesn't make any sense. So I'm already side-eyeing Judge Farnsworth, or whatever his name is, for that. And so Harry now has to turn over his because it has nothing to do with the fact that they hacked him when he was a kid. What is his messaging, and they're like, oh, because he was, whatever he his recollection of the hacking, he could have said it to J.R. Moringer. I hope Harry wiped all of it clean so they get nothing. This is not, it's just like, Harry is not on trial. You are re-victimizing the victim. So, and again, the hypocrisy of the people who deleted over 1 million emails to be now claiming that, it's like, look, unbelievable. So, yeah. Anyway, so who knows? I don't know whatever is going to come out of that, but, Harry should be like, yeah, judge. In my mind, because I'm so petty, and I would do, that would be something I would do, I would literally write a letter and blast the judge as well for daring to do it. And I was like, blast all of them and throw it all out there and call out this whole system, because it's sickening. And this is why people are afraid to bring, any kind of charge or any case against the media, because a lot of time the law is on the side of the media. It's like you're re-victimizing the victim. Why should they have to now provide? They're the ones who are hacked, and yet they have to now allow these people who hacked them and violated them to get more private information? How does that make sense? How does that make sense? So if it was me, I would write a letter and blast all of them. Then I'd send it all to the same very media that's, that's doing it. And I'd send it so the world sees it, and then let the judge see it and let them know and expose him. And another thing they did, I know there was one outlet that posted Harry's emails, like the past emails, like his defunct emails, and even present emails that, I don't know if he still has those emails. The only reason that they would put that stuff out there is so that basically, it's like a dog whistle for hackers, is what they're doing. And so again, re-victimizing the victim. And why the judge allowed that, I would never know. And so that's why, for me, if it was me, I would blast all of them. It's like, you want a letter? Okay, here's what I think. So, but that's just me. I'm crazy like that. So I'm sure Harry's a lot more sane than I am with those things. I just have no patience for that kind of thing. So let's see. Hello, Cookies and Cream. How are you? Oh, awesome moderator. Blackweed is here already. Blackweed says they are corrupted. They have zero moral compass. Sickos. I'm telling you. And that is putting it kindly, Blackweed. That is putting it kindly. So yeah. So anyway, so we'll see if Harry is gonna write the letter and what he says in the letter. So yes. But I hope Harry's letter include, you will get nothing. I will not be turning it over. So yeah. But yeah, it's like I have no patience for people who does stuff like that. And then also I know Harry's lawyer was calling out the judge because for a 1-day trial, the judge put the cost at like $100 and something thousand, and the lawyer was calling out the judge for that. And I honestly, they are ripping people off with those costs, because there is no way a 1-day case that is not even a whole day, and people, there are no witnesses there. Harry's lawyer is not there. Harry is not, you know what I mean, nothing. And you're gonna put the court case, the cost at $100 and something thousand, and then Harry is responsible for paying 2/3 of that. That is ridiculous. Again, the laws in the UK when it comes to these things has got to change. If you don't have the kind of money that Harry has, nobody could afford that stuff. Why would something like that cost 100? What are you doing in the court that really costs 100 and something thousand for 1 day? 1 day of testimony. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And if I was Harry, I was going to put that there as well and call him for robbing people blind. It is really, really despicable. I think the legal system, you don't want to, because, again, you don't want to think judges and stuff would do that. But I think there is that, especially when you're dealing with Rupert Murdoch. We talked about it in an episode before where this, what's his name, who is the assistant editor for the Telegraph, that was supposed to come to the Washington Post with Will Lewis, but then has thought better of it when all of his junk came out. And he, one of the people that they had hired to hack people, he talked about how when when the police, he was arrested and all of that stuff, that, what's his name? George Barton, whatever his name is at the Telegraph. I forgot his name right now. But one of the things that they did, he said, don't worry, we're working we're working with the police to basically make a deal with the police so that you get off. Even though the police knew this guy was hacking and blagging and all of that stuff, people's private information, the guy from the Telegraph, and they were doing it for Rupert Murdoch, they were able to cut a deal with the police, and where the guy just got a warning, even though he was committing those crimes. And so for me, the legal system, when it has to do especially with Murdoch, is for me very, very, very suspect. And so yeah. Let's see. So that's basically what is happening with Harry's court case in a nutshell. I'm sure if you read articles about it, it goes into a little more in depth, but I don't have the article in front of me, so yeah. Sonia says federal judges will do anything if it suits their interests. Just take a look at the U.S. Supreme Court. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, this orange person in the White House, for everybody who voted for that orange person, I keep posting this. I'm like, this is not a serious country, because this man running for president, again, even though he has 34 convictions against him, is like, it is ridiculous that this man has an opportunity again to be the president of the United States. And when he was the president of the United States, which really makes me sick to even say it, he put all these judges in for this very reason. Now, literally today, from the Supreme Court, a president could literally commit a crime. Like, he could go now and shoot anybody, as Trump said. I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and still, walk away free. Well, a president could literally do that now, and they have complete immunity. And you're like, what? So, God forbid that orange person gets back in the White House. He can commit any crime and all the crimes that he wanted to commit and couldn't because of, he was afraid of going to jail. Now he is free reign. And literally it said that he can do it with his enemy, like anyone who is opposing him, like politically, his political enemies, he can take them out and he is completely immune. And you're like, and what happened? Those 3 judges that he put there for this very reason. For this very reason. Now they've decided homelessness is a crime. You can't sleep. People can't sleep on the street or sleep outside because it's now considered a crime to do it. I mean, it's just like, oh my gosh. You can't really hold, the rich to account anymore because the Supreme Court has changed. I can't even. I can't even. And my question has always been, because these judges were there when Trump was there. My question has always been, but Joe Biden has been here for 3 years. Why hasn't he balanced out the Supreme Court? Why hasn't he? Because if it was reversed and a Republican was in there, they would have balanced this out. They would have put judges there, and I know it's not the norm and whatever, but it's not that you can't. So they're doing, they got rid of affirmative action. It's like, it's just all of this stuff that they're doing. And Democrats have had the White House that they can and they could have done something to add more people to the Supreme Court, and they haven't. And I don't understand why not. I simply don't understand. So here we are, and they're instituting all of these new laws that is going to affect this country for generations, and it's like, are the Democrats going to do something? Are y'all going to do something about this? And I have heard nothing. So, yeah, that's where we are. It's craziness. It is absolute craziness. So, let's see. Sonia said Trump should know that that means Biden can do the same thing too. Yeah, and that is the scary thing. That is the scary thing, because not only Biden could do it, but God forbid, Trump gets back into the White House. Oh my goodness. What do you think he's going to do? And we know how vengeful that man is. And now he'll have immunity. And I'm like, what is this country? What happened to this country? Unbelievable. Sorry, I'm panning. I hope my toes didn't get in, so I'm sitting on the grass. I was like, I'm trying to get my toes away from the camera. So yeah. Let's see. Karen says, I will send it to you. Gala information again. Yeah, Karen, send it. And, post the link here if you want to. Or send it if, send it and I will post it in our community page so people can have it. Karen, again, is having a gala in September to honor Prince Harry's birthday. So if you're interested, she is right here in the chat, so you can contact her here and send me the link and I'll post it in our community page so people can know about the gala. So yes, Karen says, please let the supporters know so they can join us. I don't want anyone to get left out and of what's going to be a great event. Yeah. So send me the link again and definitely post the link here and so people can have it. I am outside, so I can't, sometimes if I'm on my computer, I could click on it and you'll show on the screen. Unfortunately, I don't have that access with this. But send it and I'll post it on our community page. So yes. TMCD says, the Supreme Court is opening up a gigantic can of worms for a president of any party. Huge. I mean, I shudder to think what would happen. None of these people I trust with that kind of power. None of them. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And seeing how many things that the U.S. government hide, oh my Lord. So yeah. Colette says, well, I will not think too much into the immunity stuff because that could be like a horsewhip in the tail. I'm not sure what that means, but maybe explain. Let me know what horsewhip and the tail mean. So yeah, let's see. Scrolling through. Lorna says, do you not need 2/3 majority for all the states to change the number of members in the Supreme Court? I think what I'm understanding is that I think normally you do 2/3 in the Senate, and whether you get 2/3 or not, I mean the Democrats have a very slim lead, but apparently the president could issue an executive order. And I'm like, I didn't know that. Someone mentioned that, so that could be true or not. But if it's a situation that he can get them in there via executive order, look at how many executive orders Trump did when he was president. So if they can get him in via executive order, hey, it is what it is. So yeah. TMCD says the Hunger Games. Yes, I feel that's where we are. That's where definitely where we're going. So yeah. Let's see. Louis says, my prayers go out to all the people in the Caribbean. Yes, much prayers. And whenever these storms are in the Caribbean, they somehow end up in Florida, especially. They end up here in Florida or the Carolinas or something. So pray for us too, so that thing stays and dies out in the water. So that would be, yeah, what we need. So yes. Oh, great, Karen. I see it. Preto, talk about the gala. I send you the invitation in the file. So, okay. So, I will post the information, the gala information in our community page. So, as soon as I get to my email, I will post it in our community page. So, yes. Sonia said exactly. The U.S. Supreme Court is a joke. I'm telling you, Clarence Thomas and those, oh my goodness, I don't know what is going on with us. What is going on with this country? And all the what is it, Neil Garouche and all of, yeah. Again, I don't understand why the Democrats hadn't pushed to level off that, level off the Supreme Court. I don't understand it. So there has been no push for that at all. So, let's see. And I think one of the things too that I with all of this stuff, with a lot of those people, whether Democrat or Republican in Congress and in government, a lot of these people, even if Trump gets into office, it doesn't affect them in any way. They are rich, they are white, especially if they're rich, white, and male. None of this affects them. So they're not going to be as, urgent about any of these things because it doesn't affect them. And so for me, I'm looking at, it's like, look, guys, voter, they're restricting people with voting rights and all of that stuff. And for some reason, it just hasn't been a priority. And again, if you're white and especially male, none of this stuff, even if Trump gets into office, none of that affects them. It affects black and brown people especially. It affects women, white women as well in some ways, but a lot less than if you're black and brown. So a lot of these people in Congress and stuff, they're like, oh, whatever. They want to be in office, but again, if Trump is there, it doesn't really affect them. So yeah. Let's see. Colette says it will be something that can turn back to haunt them. Yeah, and everyone else too. So Lorna says, bye everyone. I will listen to the rest of the on replay. Happy Canada Day and happy 4th of July. Stay safe, everyone. Wait, 4th of July is what? Thursday? No, Wednesday? Thursday. Yeah, Thursday. Okay, cool. Thank you, Lorna. Thank you. And I think that's it. I've gone through all of the your comments. I don't have anything else. I don't think anything else is going on. At least not on when I came on. So that's all I can see going on. But again, my thing is with the whole awards and all of those things, they are making us think about it, use them and use their attention to elevate Invictus Games and all the things that the Sussexes don't engage. We don't have to engage with their nonsense. Just use it. People are paying attention. Oh, this is a great time for you to learn about Invictus Games. This is a great time of, especially like the Heart of Invictus, the Prince Harry's Netflix docu-series on about, the soldiers preparing for the games. Perfect time, because it didn't really do well in terms of viewership. This is a perfect time for people who had never heard of it, because especially in the US, a lot of people have not heard about it. So it's a perfect time. Let's use their attention to, oh, you didn't know about it? Here, go watch it. Is a perfect time to educate people as opposed to responding to nonsense from the British press and their trolls. So let's ignore them and pay them dust like our faves and use their attention to promote our faves. So there. But anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and hanging out in the park with me. Yes, this is one of our, you know me, I love being in the park or by water somewhere. So anyways, I love you all, and I will chat with you tomorrow someplace in Manhattan, wherever I figure out will be. So have a fantastic day, guys. I love you all. Bye.